Hello, gathered friends. This is Spider, and welcome back to another review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Lego Bionicle Pohatu, which is set number 8531. So here we have this classic Lego set that released back in 2001. And to start things off, we'll take a look at the packaging. So let's get to it. Alrighty, so here we have the canister that all the Toa come in. However, unfortunately, mine is missing the outer sleeve. As you can see on Tahu's, you have the nice picture of Tahu and then all of the things you need to know about the set. And then underneath, you can see the pictures that are present on this one. So yeah, I lost the outer sleeve. It is just gone. And I'm not quite sure how that happened because I got this second hand and it came like this. So your guess is as good as mine. But anyways, at least this gives us a cool opportunity to get a better look at the images underneath. So you got a nice picture of Pohatu there, and then you have all of the other Toa looking all nice and cool. And then towards the bottom here you have a quick little backstory of the Toa arriving on the island, coming out of the canisters and going off to fight the forces of evil. And then you have the top of the canister with a bionicle face, which you can actually put a mask on if you so wished. And you have this one's actually a different color than Tahu's. Tahu is more of a copper color, whether this is more of a tannish color. Sure, we'll go with tan. That's pretty much it for that. And now we should move on to the instructions. Here we have instructions. Focus up here. You can see this nice image that would have been on the front of the canister. It's got a nice picture of Tahu in the desert doing Tahu things. Looking very nice. Open it up, you can get that the same visuals of the canister. And you have the nice 3D images telling you how to build Pohatu, how to assemble the Toa. And you got some other stuff. And you got the back, the instructions. Shows you all the different masks and how you can put them all on the top of the canister if you so wished to do so. So, with all that out of the way, let us move on to the Toa. Alrighty, here we have Pohatu, the Toa of Stone. Also, I remembered to get the Lego plates this time. Yeah, I forgot to get these for the last review, but I remembered this time. Anywho, so here we have Pohatu, and first things first, we'll take a look at his articulation. There's nothing at the head, unfortunately. The arms are on ball joints, so they can move that far forward. Oops. You can move pretty far back. Can go out if you so need. And also they can, do some poses in between all of that. His hand is also on a ball joint, so you can kind of get it to move in whatever way you want. There's nothing at the waist, mainly because there kind of isn't a waist. You got the leg, which can move a little bit forward, a little bit back, and go all the way out. And obviously can rotate because it's ball joint. It's kind of what they do. Then you have the foot here, which you can go pretty far back, a little bit up, can rotate, and you get some decent ankle tilt out of it. So much like Tahu, Pohatu's articulation is pretty limited, but that's just kind of how the figures were at the time. The builds were more so made just to be kind of cool and fun to look at and focus less on articulation. However, they did fix that in later years, so that's nice. But yeah, this build is just a little weird. Like, the way the head is assembled, it makes it so that the head is very wobbly. So I guess I lied, there is head articulation. Like, he can make his head go up and down a little bit, so he can make him furiously nod, just like, yep, Anyways, also the arm assembly is kind of awkward. Like, I don't know why they would build it this way. I mean, it kind of makes more sense if you popped it off and put it like that. Like, that to me just makes more sense. It also frees up the arm so it can move a bit more. instead of being all kind of scrunched back like that. It just, I don't know. It's kind of odd. But hey, that's the beauty of Lego. Don't like how they told you to build it? Take it apart and build it how you want to build it. It's quite cool. But that's pretty much it for articulation. Now we should move on to the details. Maybe move up the camera just a little bit so we can bring in Tahu here and get a nice look at that very cool mask. And they really, I gotta say, they really nailed it with these first 6 masks. They just look so nice and so cool. You got the nice vents on the side, and you got the little mouth in the middle, and you can see his eyes, which has light piping, so you can bring a light in here and shine it through, and it makes it look like his eyes are glowing. Isn't that nice? I always appreciate a good light piping effect. And you can take the mask off and see his face underneath his face, which is kind of odd. We'll just put that back on. We move on to the shoulders here. You have this little round ball bit, which I still don't quite know what that's supposed to be. Is that armor? Is it just part of his arm? I have no idea. He has a nice tan arm here, with a little piston there. He has his hand, which is the same assembly as Tahu's hand. Got this bit with the 2 fingers here. And unlike Tahu, Pohatu's arms are actually exactly the same. Yeah, they're not different. And you have the main body here, which is brown like the mask. And you may notice that it's the same body as Tahu's, but just flipped upside down. That's kind of interesting. Pohatu is the only Toa to do it of the initial 6. All the others, the body is facing upwards, but he's the only one where it's flipped like this. This is as far as I remember. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. Gives him a bit of a different look. You got the legs here. A nice tan piece, same leg piece and foot piece as Tahu. However, now we have this new piece on the front here. And this is here because Pohatu is all about running and kicking, and this extra bit here is supposed to give those kicks some extra power. And then you have these 2 little pins on the side of each of his legs, which are kind of odd, and they just kind of stick out there and look a bit strange. But I've heard that apparently these are here because they were needed in order to complete the combined mode. Wait, what? There's a combined mode? Shh, we'll talk about that later. Anywho, so yeah, that's pretty much it for the details of Pohatu. And I got to say, he looks quite nice. He's pretty cool looking, and I also really like how they tried to make him different from Tahu's build. That's something I really appreciate that they did with the Toa. They gave each of them their own unique kind of look, you know, made them have them build differently, have some have the same arm builds, have some have different arm builds, give them new pieces, give them different pieces and whatnot, and it makes them each feel unique and different from one another, even though they are using most of the same parts. It's just those little slight touches that make them different, and it's really cool. I like it. I appreciate that they did that, so you're not just buying the same figure 6 times in a row, just with a different mask, you know? Makes you want to get all of them because they're all different. And plus, they all look really nice, all lined up on a shelf. But yeah, that is pretty much it for Tahu. But not really. We still have more things to talk about. I don't know why I said that. We have a couple things more we gotta talk about. And that is the gimmick of Tahu. Because his whole thing is speed, because he has the Kakama, which is the mask of speed. So it allows him to move fast, like Sonic or the Flash or Rodan, you know. And he's got really strong legs. And his main gimmick shows it off, because as you see, his gimmick is attached to his leg, not his arm, which allows him to have a kick. a kiki, a cool, a cat, exo. I don't know what those grunts were. They're just weird. They're just noises. All right, I like making noises, and he can get them high kicks in there. Look at that. Jeez. Pohatu must do a lot of stretches or something because goodness. Yeah, so you can get some cool kicking action out of that. Like, you can kick away the forces of evil and decapitate them on accident. Whoops, sorry about that. Pohatu, I didn't mean to do that to you, buddy. So yeah, it's pretty cool. You get a cool gimmick. And I like that they changed up the gimmick for Pohatu. Because most of the other Toa, you know, their main thing is that they use their arms to do stuff, but Pohatu he uses his legs. So they reversed the gimmick and built it so that the toy represents that. It's really cool. And just like how Tahu came with an accessory, Pohatu has one of his own. A rock! Or is it supposed to be a collie ball? Think about it, it's probably supposed to be a collie ball. Which, if you don't know what that is, collie is basically the Bionicle version of soccer. Or football. Whatever term you want to use. So yeah, he's got a cool little rock here, and you can... So you just made out two simple pieces, put them together. Yeah, really cool. It's a nice, simple, effective build. And you can take this rock and combine it with his action feature. You can swing his foot back and kick the rock. So you can have him kick the rock around or try and have him kick it at enemies or whatnot. It's pretty cool. So, yeah, that's a cool little feature they added to him. And there's one more thing you can do with the rock, which the instructions doesn't tell you to do it, but you can do it because they're made out of Lego, and that is, well, actually, I gotta go get the rock because I kicked it off the dang desk. Alright. Okay. Because they're made out of Lego, you can take the rock and you can connect it to his arm here, because there's studs on the top of the rock, and his arm has these two holes, so you can connect it like that and put his hand over it. You can make him look like he's holding a rock. Ain't that cool? So yeah, and because it's actually connected to him, you don't have to worry about the rock falling off anytime soon. You can just sit it down. And that's pretty cool. You can totally imagine just Pohatu just wandering around the desert, you know, just having a collie ball under his arm, just walking around. You know, searching for forces of evil to fight and kick in the face. So yeah, now that is pretty much it for Tahu. And we should move on to the size comparisons. So let's get to that. So to start off the size comparisons, as always, here it is with a Lego minifigure. With the Packet Destruction minifigure Mothra. The Packet Destruction minifigure Godzilla. Now it's some more relevant size comparisons. Here it is with the McDonald's Bionicle Pohatu Rydick. I'm not 100% sure how you say his name. Get him out of there. And we'll compare him with the previous review and his brother, the Toa Mata Tahu. You can see there's a bit of a size difference between them. Tahu is a bit taller than Pohatu, even when you put his head up like that. So, there you go. Now that we're done with that, it's measuring time. Let's get out this measuring tape. See how tall he is. And let's also focus in so you can see a little bit better. There you go. So you can see Pohatu is about 6 inches tall. However, if you raise up his head a little bit, he is almost 6.5 inches tall. So, pretty decent size. Pretty decent size. And overall, that's what I can say about this figure. He's pretty decent, you know? A bit A bit dated, but overall, pretty fun, and he still looks cool, I have to say. And unlike Tahu, I do not have Pohatu's golden mask. I was not able to acquire it in time for this review, unfortunately, but what can you do? So that is pretty much it for the Pohatu review, and yeah, he's pretty cool. I like him. He's neat. Got some problems, but he's neat. And if you wanted one of these for yourself, on eBay, they're going for around $25 to $40, which is a bit expensive. But if you can find one complete for around $20 to $25, I think it's not too crazy of a price for an aftermarket sale anyways. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this review. And if you wanted to see the Tahu review, that will be linked down in the description below. And stay tuned, because there will be more Bionicle reviews coming the next few weeks. But until then, see you later. Sayonara. Bye.